Hi everybody, I'm Dave Giltner with TurningScience. I help scientists and engineers design and build rewarding careers in industry, or as I like to say, turning science into things people need. I want to talk today about the three types of jobs. This is something I talk about quite a lot when I speak. I wrote a blog post about it a few years ago, but that's what I want to cover today. The first type of job, simply put, is one where you do what someone else tells you to do. These are jobs where the work product, the work output, is well defined. And it simply takes somebody who is trained in doing that skill to do it for a certain number of hours until it's done, and they typically get paid an hourly rate for however long it takes. The second type of job is where there is a right answer, but it's not known yet, and it is your job to figure out what that right answer is and then implement it. Science and engineering themselves are that second type of job. That's a fine career, and most of us in science and engineering probably had our sights on that type of a job when we got into this. But the third type of job, and this is the really important one, is where there is no right answer, but it's your job to figure out what's going to be done anyway. How are we going to move ahead? And of course, these are leadership positions, and they are worth a lot more money. Running a company involves a lot of decisions where there is no right answer, or at least if there is one in principle, it's not known and it is not going to be known anytime in the near future. Those are the most challenging jobs, but those jobs are worth the most money. When designing and building your career, it is really important you think about this. As I said, most of us here in this group probably had our eyes on that second type of job when we got into science or engineering. But as you get into industry and you see how companies work, you begin to learn there's a role above even that. They need people who can make decisions based on little data or not enough data. Basically, there's no right answer, and somebody needs to decide how to move forward. That is the type of job that actually pushes companies forward, and that is really critical in industry, and that is by far the most valuable position. So you need to decide in your career, do you stop at job type 2, which is fine, maybe that's what you're most comfortable with, or do you actually aspire to move up to that third type of job where there is no answer, no right answer, but you decide what to do anyway. Very important things to think about. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get out there and turn science into things people need. Thanks.